When they said no, she says, I know myself. I know my value. I know what I've delivered. I know what I'm capable of. I don't know if maybe 90% of the women out there would have dropped out, but this girl, this sis, I'm not opting out. I'm not dropping out. I am fully committed. I'm fully in this race. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to find somebody else to believe in me. And that's exactly what she did. She didn't accept the decrease in her compensation because she knows she was a medal. She's a gold medal Olympic champion, multiple medal winning champion. 11. She set the world record now in this Olympics. She put in the work, she believed in herself, and she did what it took, and she showed up and she showed out. And sometimes people won't believe in you, but you've got to have the mindset to believe in yourself. And the best way to silence the critics is to deliver. We are live. Welcome to my Tuesday night Boss Career Move session. And we're going to be talking about Allyson Felix and the boss moves she made at the Olympics for her personal life and professionally. And we're going to take these lessons and we are going to apply them to our own career success strategy. And I want to start off today by talking about, first of all, how amazing she was, how great she was, how much she accomplished for herself and for women, mission greater than herself. But I want you, one thing I learned from her is that she owned her greatness. She owned her brilliance. She owned the results that she could deliver. She owned her talent. She owned her gift. And there comes a time, my dear sisters, that we have to decide. Decide to recognize the value that you bring to the table. Decide that you've already proven yourself because of the results that you delivered, because you got the receipts to back it up. Decide that you will no longer dance with the insecurities that come from self-doubt. Decide that you're brilliant. Decide that you're resilient. Decide that you are enough and you have nothing else to prove to anyone. Our world begins to change when we begin to own it. Own our brilliance, own our talent, own our gift, own our voice, and own our power. And this super inspirational story that we got from Allyson Felix over the Olympics is what I want to talk about because she decided to own it. And you know, for all the discussion that a lot of corporations have around gender equity, she went through something that a lot of mothers went through. Right? She, in her youth, and she's still young, ran and broke records. And before coming to this most recent Olympics, had 8 or 9 already medals from the Olympics. But somehow her sponsor, the company, which I won't name here, but you know, the company that sponsors a lot of athletes, you know, a sports company, they said to her, we will keep you on board. We will allow you to represent our brand, but we're going to pay you 70% less. She must have given them the side eye and be like, really? Because I got receipts to prove how good I am. And are you saying to me that just because I had a kid, I can't deliver? I can't perform? She was shunned. She was underestimated, discarded like a piece of paper. And I don't know about you, but how many of you have ever felt that you've put the work in, you have delivered results, and somehow maybe you had a child, maybe you took some time off. Who knows? Maybe something happened. Maybe nothing happened. Maybe you just changed management in the organization and somehow you were discarded to the side. Somehow you were no longer valued for the value that you bring to the table. That all your achievements that you had was no longer being regarded and you were undervalued. And what I loved about her is that she knew she was one of the best and fastest sprinters in the world. She knew she was going to put the work in. And when they told her, we're going to cut it not by 5, 10, 15, 20, or even 50%, but we're going to cut your compensation by 70%. She says, well, I'm going to exit stage left. right? Because I know how good I am, right? I can talk like this because I can back it up. If you know that song, it's from Beyonce. If you know the song where she says, I walk like this, he talks like this because he can back it up, type in the name of the song. You get an extra cool point if you know the name of that song. Or I like to say, being Jamaican, full of big chat and can't defend that, which means you're talking big chat, but you can't back it up with your actions. You can't defend it. And you get like 10 extra cool points and maybe even a free gift if you can name the artist and the song that comes from. It's a reggae dancehall song. You get 10 cool points if you can name that. You will be extra cool in life. But she wasn't full of big chat and can't defend it. She knew that she could deliver and she was ready to put in the work. She knew her body, she knew her psychology, she knew her level of commitment, and she knew she was going to bring it. And not only did she bring it after delivering a child and showed up prepared at the Olympics and delivered against what she said, but she did it after giving birth, as I said, to a child in the middle of a pandemic when so many athletes had to drop out. She was focused. She took all the precautions next time. She put the work in. She put the time in. She trained. And she showed up for herself. She showed up for her family. She showed up for her business, the company she started. She showed up for women because she has a purpose around giving voice to women. She showed up and she showed out. And so you know how I'm always talking about going where you're celebrated and not tolerated, right? And it's easy for me to sit here and say, because I know people have bills to pay, but I always want to say to you, you always have options. And maybe you don't leave the company, but you find somebody else to work for in the company. Or you have a conversation, or you get a sponsor, or you find somewhere else. So how do you keep resilient, keep motivated, in spite of other people maybe not believing in you? Well, I'm going to tell you 3 things that I learned from Allyson Felix that you can apply and I can apply in order, and I've done a lot of them before, honestly, and they really work to help you to be strong in the face of opposition and to be resilient. And the number 1 thing I want to start out with is be willing to believe in yourself and do the work. I said that before. When they said no, she says, I know myself, I know my value, I know what I've delivered. I know what I'm capable of. I don't know if maybe 90% of the women out there would have dropped out, but this girl, this sis, I'm not opting out. I'm not dropping out. I am fully committed. I'm fully in this race. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to find somebody else to believe in me. And that's exactly what she did. She didn't accept the decrease in her compensation because she knows she was a medal. She's a gold medal Olympic champion, multiple medal winning champion. 11. She set the world record now in this Olympics. She put in the work, she believed in herself, and she did what it took, and she showed up and she showed out. And sometimes people won't believe in you, but you've got to have the mindset to believe in yourself. And the best way to silence the critics is to deliver. Sometimes it's not about arguing and talking. Sometimes it's just showing up, doing the work, and delivering. So if you've ever been underestimated and told that you can't win, I say don't argue. Just show them the receipts. You didn't believe in me, but I believe in myself. And she found another company. Sometimes we get so small-minded and so scarcity-minded that we think that this is the only company in the world. But there are literally millions of companies, and if that company doesn't step up, trust me, and you're really putting in the work, and you're really talented, which I know you are, you put in the work, you deliver, and you find a place that's going to step up. They won't step up, so you step off their platform and do what she did. Maybe you're going to create your own platform. She started out with Athleta, and then she said, you know what? I don't even need to do that. I need to create my own brand. I'm going to show up in my own shoes. And what a lot of employers don't realize during this pandemic is that I'm warning executives right now, CEOs, you're going to lose some talent if we don't change our mindset on how we treat employees. Plus, people have seen parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, children die in this past year in the pandemic. And we are reassessing what we're spending our time on, because we know our mortality is real to us. So we don't want to spend the majority of our waking hours miserable, because when you spend the majority, we literally spend the majority of our wake hours at work. And if we are miserable at work, we're miserable for the majority of our lives. And people are just not, they want to have a fulfilled life. And so I want to encourage you is, second point, know your worth and don't settle. Because Allyson Felix didn't settle for that pay cut. She knew what she could deliver. She was committed to the result. And she decided, you know what? I'm not going to settle. And if you're not going to step up, as I said before, I'm going to find another organization that is willing to step up, because I'm going to step up my game. I'm going to deliver. And man, she just blew our minds. She went in and she got that extra medal and she tied with Carl Lewis. And then she has 11. She even broke it. Now she's not just the greatest or the most medaled track and field athlete or female athlete from the US. It's athlete period of all time. So she did not settle. And I want to encourage you, when you know your worth, when you know the value you bring, when you know who you are, don't get stuck in a scarcity mindset. Show up, show out, and be willing to make a move. It may not happen right away, but make a move in the due time so that you could go somewhere where you're fulfilled. And my third point is, what was even most inspiring to me is that she did not allow the mess that she was in to destroy her. She found a bigger purpose. Number 3 is knowing your why, fighting a mission greater than yourself. And she turned her mess into a message. That mess she found she found her purpose in it. She found pain in the purpose. She found a message in her mess. And she decided, you know what? I was treated unfairly as a mother, in athletics, in the sport, as a woman in sports. But you know what I'm going to do this time around? I'm going to create a lifestyle brand that is going to give voice to women. It's going to stand up for women and represent women in sports, to bring gender equity in sports. And so sometimes we think that the fire has come to burn us, but the fire actually came to refine us and to propel us into our next chapter, into our new level. Sometimes when we're so comfortable in the comfort zone, we don't have that drive and that passion, that energy to go to that next level. So be grounded in your why. Understand what your mission and your purpose is. Because when we will give up in many other areas, our mission and our purpose will drive us to do things that we would never do on our own. It's not. And you know what? Yes, it is. I'm not going to lie. It is about the money. The money is important. The pay is important. Because in our society, money is power. And so it is important for women to be paid equitably, for mothers to be paid equitably. It is very much about the money. And I'm not going to be apologetic about that. Because you can provide for your family. You can contribute to causes that you believe in. You can be active politically. Right? So the money is important. And in addition to that, there is more. There's a purpose bigger than yourself. And when you get aligned to that purpose and aligned to that mission, you literally become unstoppable. And so I don't know about you. Did you find the whole story with Allyson Felix super encouraging? I did. I loved how she used this story of seemingly defeat as a launch pad for her next chapter. And what can you use? Have you been underestimated, overlooked at work, underappreciated, not rewarded for the contributions that you bring? There may be a lot of reasons why this has happened to you. And what I am is a career success strategist. And what I'm going to be doing for this month of August is I'm going to be offering, so you're going to see a link in the description. It's a link to my calendar, directly to my calendar. And I invite you to schedule a free career success strategy session where we can identify what is the gap that's preventing you? What's the thing that's missing from your career strategy, from your plan, from your tactics, right? Because it's not just about tactics, right? It's understanding what it is that is going to take you to go to that next level. Maybe you're not committed and you're not delivering results, and maybe that's why you're being overlooked. I would say that's not the case for the majority of the women that I work with, maybe 10%. And that's an easy fix. Deliver, show up, be consistent, build trust. But it may be the fact that your network isn't strong enough. Maybe you do have a network, but you don't have the right people. Maybe you have a mentor, but you don't have a sponsor. Do you even know the difference between mentors and sponsors? Because mentors are somebody that you will learn from, but sponsors is what's going to get you promoted. Do you have both? Because you need both. Maybe you don't have, maybe you're doing great work, but your company's best kept secret. You don't have the right visibility. So I will be asking you all these questions so we can diagnose exactly what the problem is, and we're going to fill the gap to help you go to the next level professionally. If you've listened all this way to the end of this video, I know that you're committed and that you're determined to show up and get results. To show up for you, to show up for your family, to show up for your mission and your purpose. And so I'm going to end this live the same exact way that I began. It's regarding this post. It's time for us to own our power. There comes a time where we decide that we just have to know that we have value that we bring to the table and begin to own it. Decide that we've already proven ourselves because we have the results and the receipts to back it up. Decide that we will no longer dance with insecurities from self-doubt. Decide that you are brilliant. Decide that you're bold. Decide that you're brilliant. Decide that you're enough. Because your world begins to change, my world begins to change, our world begins to change the minute we truly decide to own it. And so I want to invite you. I look forward to talking to you and hearing and strategizing and understanding where is the gap so you can get from where you are in your career to where you want to be. So that's all for today, my friends. I see you. I believe in you. Don't forget, you are not meant to shrink down lower. So rise up, own your power. Have a fantastic night. Bye for now.